What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. Oh man, this month has been one of those crazy months in terms of Godzilla news. We've got a ton of stuff. We got the King Kong experience that just happened at Comic-Con, the cool little image that they dropped, teasing further the Monsterverse. And speaking of the Monsterverse, we also got the crazy video showing a timeline of the Monarch Files, the legendary Monsterverse, and we're going to go in depth with that. Who is joining me today? Let me introduce you to my panel. My right-hand man in the Godzilla land, we got my brother G73, Chase. What's up?
What's cracking, everyone?
Glad you're here, brother. I'm glad you're here. You know who else I'm glad is here? Someone who hasn't been here for a very long time. My boy JR is back. What's up, brother? We miss you.
Hello.
JR, myself, and his lady, we've been, I want to play more, but we've been playing a lot of Left 4 Dead recently. This past month, we've been doing some Left 4 Dead stuff, and I want to say, man, it's been a pleasure doing that because Left 4 Dead is still my favorite zombie game of all time, and I have rekindled a love thanks to you.
Hey, no problem. 0 out of 10 for E3 for no Left 4 Dead 3.
Where's my invite? Over on PlayStation land here, that's where.
Yeah, all right. Oh, God. Well, all right, let's get right into it. Godzilla talk right now. We're going to get down and dirty with it. And the first thing I want to talk about is that video, the timeline video that Legendary put out that basically showed major events in Monarch's history and most notably the whole Monster Zero situation. Now, we've seen the video a whole bunch of times. Me and Chase talked about this video at great length. So, JR, let me ask you first. You've seen the video. What are some of the things that stood out to you, and what was, like, your favorite thing from this video?
Definitely the smog of London. I couldn't really read what it was saying, but it made me definitely think of Hedra. And I talked about it with the wife. I was like, oh, shit, would they really have got Hedra? I don't think they would have, but it would be really cool. And we sat there and bullshit about it for a little bit. But once I actually got to read it, I was like, man, that would be cool if Hedra somehow was in Kong vs. Godzilla. But the thing that got me most excited was Monster Zero, because it was a separate video that was just on the Monster Zero, and it was, I think, hosted by one of the guys working on Godzilla 2. It was playing out, and then you heard the Ghidra cackle from Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster, and it got me pumped because I love Ghidra. It's like my second favorite enemy next to Destroya. Don't know why Destroya can't be in these fucking movies, but no, it really badass. It's got me pumped. It's, I watched that video so many times. I have it saved on my Facebook just so I can go watch it and listen to the Ghidra cackle and be like, oh yeah, just a few more years.
Yeah, a few more years. It's kind of crazy that, we have this now, but we still got to wait 2 years for this. Chase, same question, man.
If you actually think about it, though, once next summer hits, it's going to be a locomotive.
Yeah, so. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's all right. I was going to say, same question, man. You saw the video. What were some of the things that stood out to you, and what was your favorite part of it?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think everybody's main thing was King Ghidorah. I think that was the main excitement for everybody. That was mine. King Ghidorah is my favorite enemy. Just the fact that they're calling it the devil has three heads, three-headed devil, the Monster Zero, stuff like that. That was the fan service and just the nostalgia that they're doing with this character so far. Actually, not just King Ghidorah, but Rodan as well. I don't know if Mothra has much a nostalgia at this point. There is, I mean, we'll talk about Mothra later with the one photo that was released, but just like with Rodan as well, and with the Mothra piece on the timeline, each to their own, they all stood out to me one by one. There was always one, there was one thing about each that seemed to really grasp my hype. You know, like with the Rodan, if it is Rodan coming out of a mountain, you know, stuff like that, or around the volcano, you know, that's just big fan service right there, you know, and it just, every piece has something that has really caught my attention. But the number one thing was Monster Zero, you know, and that the way, just even in the depths of why they even posted the video, it's like it just adds hype either way. And the fact that they posted about King Ghidorah first, it was just like a great sonic boom of joy. So, and the smog of London, that was one thing that caught my attention. But after you and I talked about it for about 40 minutes, and then I read into it more and learned it wasn't really about Hedorah. It was about a monster, but not Hedorah. It kind of like deflated that, but it still was kind of nice. It was nice living in that moment of like, what if?
Yeah. You really put a knife in my heart with that one. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah. When I posted that picture on Messenger, and I was like, oh, here's a better photo of it. But the one thing that was not really that we don't really talk about, that was really exciting, was the Kong Skull Island stuff. They talk about Kong afterwards, and that was in those timeline videos too. And they talk about how, whatever his name is, son. Yeah, you guys got to refresh my memory.
What's his name? Is it
Hawkins?
Yeah, the geologist is the geologist's son. The guy who created the Hollow Earth theory. His son.
Yeah, forgive me for forgetting his name. It's one of those days, but he has a son, and he goes back to the island, and he checks it out after a few years to see what's going on with Kong, and they just connect. They're connecting those, and I think that's kind of cool that they're talking about that. So
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, and like we've mentioned before, like it'd be really cool to see that, and like you said, the comic books, they're what's connecting those. So the Kong Skull Island comic books, you can like see all that, and they're like going to show more. Like apparently they're going to show more monster reveals and stuff like that in the comic series. That's what I heard. So. It's going to be. It's just all cool how they're connecting all of it. So,
I've been enjoying those Kong Skull Island comic books. I think there's only 2 issues out. I haven't checked this week to see if the third one. I don't think the third one's out yet because it seems like they're doing it bi-monthly. So, if anything, it'll come out in August if it hasn't dropped yet. But yeah, it's great, and I love that you brought that up. How they all connect in that Kong did have a spot, not one spot, but 2 spots on that map, because they did the 73 expedition to Skull Island, and then the comic book takes place, I believe, in 95. So yeah, you're right, man. I love that. I love that zoning. The smog of London. I think we're all here at the same. We all had the same thought. Smog monster, smog, Hedorah. What? And it's just like, would they really go and do something like that? Even if they won't utilize the creature, but just to have it thrown in there as this stuff that happened, it kind of reminded me of like the Millennium series where they had, I think it was Mega Gearus, or no, it was Mecha Godzilla, where they were like, you know, these creatures attacked one time, and then they showed like a couple of random creatures, and then Final Wars did it too. You know,
they had like the Gargantuas and. What is it, Gamora, stuff like that?
Yeah, Ghidorah and all of them. Yeah, so I like that, because I was like, they can do something just like that. You don't have to show these creatures. You could just say there were these things that were unexplained, and now that we know what's going on, we could attribute it to these, you know, megafaunas or whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's actually freaking cool. But then we find out, yeah, no, don't think it was Hedorah. And it's like, okay, whatever, it's cool. But yeah, the monster, after that, the Monster Zero thing just blows your freaking head off. Because it's the one, it's the most obvious one. It's the biggest one right there. And it's like they focus and emphasize on that. And justifiably so. I mean, everybody who's a fan of Godzilla knows what Monster Zero is, knows who King Ghidorah is. I mean, if you don't, you don't really know your Godzilla stuff. But we do. And the producers and the people behind this legendary franchise right now, they get it. They get it. They have to be fans. They're doing shit that they would want to see. And you know what? It makes you hype. It makes me hype. It makes JR hype. It makes everybody listening hype. Because you're like, yo, that's how you do it. It's like Monster Zero, this gigantic thing in the Arctic Ocean. And then the lady quoting, like Chase said, the devil has 3 heads. Yes, give me more. Like that. I love it. Thank you. Also, I mean, you have the Temple of the Moth. That's a nice little throwaway nod. We know what Mothra is. We understand that. It's a nice little throwaway nod. Chase, you had mentioned the volcano thing. Well, I'm still sticking to my guns with that. I believe that's Rodan. I hope it's Rodan. I really want to see Rodan.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say it is Rodan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what other monster would it be? I mean, that's...
Exactly. It's Monster Zero, of course. I mean, not Monster Zero, Monster X. Of course.
Monster Zero is chilling. No pun intended.
Real good one. But yeah, man, it's exciting, man. This is the time we live in. And yeah, it's not on the Kong Skull Island Blu-ray. At least my brother said it wasn't. I haven't opened mine yet. I have it still in the package. So I was kind of upset with that. I'm like, damn, because you would think that would be a perfect Blu-ray feature.
Well, sorry cutting you off, but I was like, when you mentioned that, I was like, wow, because like, if they're not putting that on a Blu-ray, that means they're doing this completely intentionally, and they have more that they're going to be showing probably within the next coming months to the next year. So, and it's like, because like if that's not on the Blu-ray, it's like they were planning that. They were doing that something special.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of threw me off. Is like, I can't believe that's not in like Monarch Files. I mean, like, why? Like, that just mind boggles me.
And that's one of the things I was kind of like weirded out about, because if it wasn't going to be on the Blu-ray, then why release it when they released it? They could have saved it for Comic-Con, which is a great big thing. I mean, granted, they had the Kong experience at Comic-Con, and it was kind of like a scavenger hunt. We'll get into that. But I mean, even at the Kong experience, that would have been perfect to showcase there, where people could actually go up and see it and like be.
Just imagine how bigger the hype would have been if they actually just saved that all for Comic-Con.
Exactly. I mean, they didn't have to do it at the Warner Brothers panel. They could have left it exactly like it was in the Kong experience. The way the Godzilla experience was a couple of years back. It was, you walk through, you see a couple of the old suits. I think it was the Miragoji suit was there. And it was just a fun experience. And you go in a little elevator, and then Godzilla walks by the window, and it's awesome. Things like that. This video would have been perfectly suited if they knew they weren't dropping it on the Blu-ray. It would have been perfectly suited to be at Comic-Con. I don't know why it came out early. Chase, JR, I'll get to you, Chase. JR, do you have any thoughts on why they would not put it out at Comic-Con? If they weren't going to put it on a Blu-ray, why would they release it like at the top of the month when there's the gigantic convention of geeks happening?
Honestly, it kind of hurts to say it. I have a feeling like they're kind of doing it like Alien Covenant did, where they're dropping a lot of stuff that's very important to the film before the film comes out. I feel like that's what they're trying to do, or to keep people's interest to spread to a wider audience rather than just the people that went to Comic-Con, because, I can't go to Comic-Con. That's expensive. So I'm glad it wasn't just an exclusive type of thing. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like, well, they don't want it to be exclusive to Comic-Con. Let's just drop it before Comic-Con and have people excited because Kong Skull Island's coming out on Blu-ray and stuff like that. I just hope they're not doing what Alien Covenant did, where, they drop all this information and then completely leave a lot of it out of the fucking movie that's very important.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you know what this is, Chase, you know what I believe this is? I think this is great strategy on Legendary's part. Again, I think it would have suited Comic-Con because, and we're going to get to that right now, they did have an image that dropped at Comic-Con. They could have also dropped this video at Comic-Con. It could have been another piece of this scavenger hunt, if you will. There, multiple things. Because once we got that first piece, I thought maybe there's more. But I think that was it. That was the prize, if you will, for the scavenger hunt they put together for the Kong experience. But I think that this is really good viral marketing on their part. Showing the video and stuff. Again, I think they could have just saved it 2 weeks later for Comic-Con. It wouldn't have hurt nobody. And I think it would have been better. And I get it, JR. We can't go. But we did get the image of Mothra, which we're going to talk about. And we would have gotten that too. Legendary wasn't shy about posting that up for the fans outside, for those who couldn't attend. And I applaud them for that. So, Chase, what do you think? Is it good marketing strategy right now, especially because we're so far from the movie?
JR brought up a good point. I mean, there are a big majority of people that cannot go to Comic-Con. I mean, I didn't go. I don't have the money and probably never will ever have the money to go to a Comic-Con. But I still see that as a missed opportunity. I mean, there's still you could have done it. So what you could have done is it would have had such a more powerful impact if you used it at Comic-Con. It would have had more punch behind it if you saved it for Comic-Con. But then let's say maybe a day after you post it for your fans on the internet. You could have done it both ways that would have reached all audience on the full spectrum. But, I do see it like what JR said, saying maybe they just didn't want to exclude people, which, yeah, that could be true. That could be, that's a very logical explanation. But if this isn't something that's on the Kong Skull Island Blu-ray, this is something that is kind of like they knew what they were doing. This wasn't something that was accidental or something they just put up just to like be in a sense of just to do it. I feel like so another part to me thinks what if they wanted to show something at Comic-Con, but they didn't exactly know what they wanted to show in a sense, or didn't want to put the really greatest stuff out. So instead they just put out some little concept things like this just to get the little bit of a taste of what's going on, just to get it out of there. I see it that way, but either way, it's keeping hype. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in a couple of months from now, sure, the hype will still be there, but the power of the hype that we have for it right now might not be as strong as it will be in December. But with them doing this, if it's not on the Blu-ray, it just makes me wonder, do they have an agenda of what they want to post, what they want to talk about within the next coming months, maybe leading up to Comic-Con? So it makes me wonder if, the next concept art or the next Monarch Files will be talking more about Godzilla, or we'll be seeing more stuff about Rodan or this or that. Or, when that Mothra picture was posted, if we'll see something like a concept art of Rodan or King Ghidorah in stone, engraved in stone, or stuff like that. It just makes me wonder, what really is the schedule and agenda Legendary is thinking here? I mean, you guys totally did this intentionally and have sparked an ember in this waiting to consume bomb. So it just makes me like I can't pinpoint it exactly. I mean, like it was great marketing, but it was like, why not just use it for Comic-Con? You could have done a lot more worth at Comic-Con this way. But I don't know. I don't know for sure what's going on, but I'm just curious. I'm really curious about the rest we're going to see and why they specifically showed this monster first and that monster this way, this and that way. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I like, again, I'm not going to shit on Comic-Con for this. I think they could have dropped this there, and regardless, it didn't have to be at the panel. It could have stayed where it was at the Kong experience. Because I think that, for me personally, I love the idea of them having these experiences at Comic-Con instead of, if they, let's say they had anything that they wanted to show, it's still 2 years away. It's way too soon to really, we're fiending because we're fans. But it's way too soon to put anything out there in the public eye as far as visually goes, because you're going to forget about it by the end of the year. You will. If you're not into it like we're into it, you're going to see it. You probably walked out and then went into the next panel, the Marvel panel, and then saw the Black Panther stuff and Infinity Wars, and you forgot all about Godzilla already, because it's like, this is what's next on the plate. Next year we'll get some really good shit, obviously. But
oh yeah, I'm highly anticipating the Godzilla 2 experience.
If they have an experience. But I like these things that they're doing at Con. I really do appreciate that original Godzilla experience that they had. I really do appreciate the Kong experience that they just had. It's really good, and it brings more of the lore of this legendary Monsterverse to the forefront. Case being, that Mothra picture, the trophy, if you will, for this scavenger hunt. Now, I call it a scavenger hunt because that's the only thing I could wrap my brain around. That's what it was supposed to be. I have really no idea what they were doing. I know you had to, find secret codes. It was a goddamn scavenger hunt. You had to find codes with some numbers and shit and upload them to Facebook or Instagram for the Console Island, whatever the case may be. And your reward was a concept. Now, JR, what did you think of it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's fucking awesome when you think about it. You get a lot more detail, even though it's a stone carving, but you see Mothra, and you see a couple of larvae. What did you think of that?
I liked it. Mothra is probably the least thing I'm excited for with not Ghidorah, three-headed monster, Godzilla 2. Oh, sorry. Oh.
I was going to say, you're not wrong.
It got me excited, but not too excited, because I'm like, I would rather have seen Rodan.
Yeah.
Because, we all know what Mothra looks like. Look, we all know what Mothra's going to end up looking like. A fucking butterfly. You can't get that much different. It is exciting, though.
She's a moth. Okay.
Regardless, it got me.
There's a scientific difference.
It got me excited because it's like, yeah, this is our first actual fucking glimpse at something besides the after credits of Skull Island. It's like, this is actually really cool. I wonder if it's going to be in the film at the Temple of the Moth. If they go there to look around in the film and stuff, but it's serving its purpose. Like I said, though, it would have been really badass if we seen Rodan instead of Mothra. But I guess there's more Mothra fans. I don't know.
I totally agree with you there. I totally agree with you. I think you're onto something, though. Because we know what Mothra is going to look like, that's the easy way to go. That's the easy out. Say, all right, we'll give them this. Because regardless, it's going to get the fans' attention, right? Whether or not they're looking forward to seeing Mothra. I know we're not going to see this movie for Mothra, But the fact that she is a part of the Godzilla lineage, and it's the first time we're going to get an Americanized version of Mothra, it's really fucking cool. But I'm with you. Yeah, I would have much rather seen Rodan. What about you, Chase?
I'm going to put it this way. I would have rather seen more King Ghidorah. But, however, I have never been excited for a bug in my entire life until this.
Says the guy who runs the Megalon page.
That's true. Got me there. But but seriously, like this piqued me with so much hype because it answered a few of my questions, and we don't know for sure if there's going to be 2 Mothra larvae in the movie, but there are 2 Mothra larvae in the picture, which is really cool. But that just makes me wonder if it's going to be the same thing. Are we going to have 2 Mothras that turn into butterflies, or is it going to be how traditional 1 old Mothra dies, then 2 are born out of an egg? I just wonder about that. But, however, it did feel like this image of Mothra was just cannon fodder, but it was really good cannon fodder.
Good point. Good point.
But I'm excited. I was excited. I mean, I put the Mothra song lyrics on a picture, and it's my cover photo right now because I'm hyped for it. And because of it, I'm watching the Mothra trilogy, and I'm gonna watch Godzilla and Mothra battle for Earth, and I'm just so excited because it's like I'm in a Mothra kick right now. And it was like I even told my mom the other day I was driving, and it was just out of random. It was quiet, and I'm just like, you know what? I need to get me a Mothra shirt or something. And I'm stoked. But yeah, I mean, like, I would have preferably loved to have seen more monsters, but it's like, this is why I'm like, what are they planning to do? Are they trying to do it like in sequences? Like, it's going to be Mothra, then they're going to show Rodan. They have to do it that way. It's not like they're going to show us Mothra, then they're going to show us King Ghidorah, and then Rodan and Godzilla last. Obviously, they've made this hyped up to be that Godzilla and King Ghidorah are going to be the 2 major icons of this movie. Yeah. Rodan and Mothra are going to be kind of like the partners in the show. They're going to be kind of like probably the first monsters that get established first, and are probably the ones that are going to be maybe. I don't want to hurt by anyone's feelings of this, but I feel like they're going to be the ones that we forget about early on in the movie. They're not going to be getting as much attention as Godzilla and King Ghidorah probably will be. But we will see. But at this point, that's just kind of how it feels. I hope I'm wrong, but King Ghidorah and Godzilla feel like they're going to be the diamonds of the movie. The pictures, it excited me. I said, I haven't been excited about Mothra ever, so I'm looking forward to this. It was something that really was like, wow. It was exactly what JR said. This was something that we got to see other than the cave paintings from Kong Skull Island, and it's like I would have been very upset if we had to wait till next summer to see something, I mean, this Comic-Con was very depressing for Kaiju. We didn't get really anything.
Pacific Rim, we got pulled on, man. Oh.
Yeah, and you could say the Pacific Rim 2 thing was really cool, but that didn't really excite me as much as I hoped. I mean, it was nice seeing something finally, but it wasn't a trailer or anything. It was a teaser, and I felt like it was very, very marketed. And what I mean by that, it felt like it did not give anything for the Pacific Rim 2 film to excite me other than there's going to be robots.
No, that's exactly what that was. That was a marketing campaign for propaganda for the movie. It was supposed to make you feel like you are a part of that world. It definitely wasn't a trailer. It gave no plot points.
Oh yeah,
it was just we are Jaeger.
I was just disappointed. It wasn't something I would have rather seen. And for Pacific Rim, I mean, sure, it was cool seeing John Boyega and seeing him almost sounding exactly like Idris Elba. But other than that, I just felt like this year at Comic-Con, the Kaiju was very dry. The Kong Skull Island experience, it was cool, but I felt like still the Godzilla experience beat it. I mean, but as in terms of the Mothra image, it was nice to see, because it's like, this is essentially concept art, or something that's going to be in the Godzilla King of the Monsters Art of Destruction 2 book,
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. And knowing that Mike Doherty is a Godzilla fan and he's all into it, it just excites me more, because it's like I feel like I can trust this guy. So I'm excited to see what more Legendary has up their sleeve for the next coming months to the next year. So we'll see.
Gotcha. The Godzilla experience definitely beats the Kong experience, only because we didn't get the Godzilla movie yet. So we were getting a tease there. With Kong, we already seen the movie. The Blu-ray is out. So we were getting the promotional material.
Well, I mean by the Kong Skull Island experience basically was just a maze. It wasn't.
Yeah, no. But like I said, it was a scavenger hunt. Whereas with the Godzilla experience,
the Godzilla experience
it was more.
Was also a maze.
It was, but it was more of an interactive experience where you walk in Janjira, then the thing starts going crazy. That was 2 years ago. JR, let me ask you. Chase brought up Pacific Rim 2, the propaganda marketing material. What were your thoughts on that?
I'm glad to actually see something. I mean, I showed the wife, and I'm like, yeah, dude, it's got me going a bit, because there was a lack of anything interesting at this Comic-Con for me. It's actually pretty sad, because, NECA was like, oh, we're going to announce figures. Nothing Kaiju related.
Nothing, yeah.
Oh, hopefully we'll see some Godzilla 2 stuff. Just a little bit. And then Pacific Rim, the director came out and said, no, we're not going to show anything. And they showed us a little something. It was pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, that's Finn from Star Wars. I could see him in this movie. I can see this movie working. I'm really actually excited for it. And I think this little teaser, it served its purpose, and it got me, ready for it. Because I forget that movie's coming out next year. I think, I'm thinking, oh, fuck, I gotta wait, 6 more years for this, just like every other fucking Godzilla movie that's coming out. No, it's gonna be out next year. So, it got me excited for it.
I hear ya. I mean, think about it too, guys. You gotta remember one more thing. We also got New York City Comic Con, and that they've been doing things there lately. So, I mean, we got that Gamera thing, which never amounted to anything but a very cool proof of concept trailer. But that was at New York City Comic Con. And it's getting bigger. So while it won't rival San Diego Comic Con, the New York City one, though, I can see them showing more from Pacific Rim. I honestly do not believe we're going to get anything else from Godzilla 2. Besides whatever news tidbits or whatever the directors or stars leak online on Twitter or something, whatever they post. But as far as trailers are concerned, I think we all need to take a collective breath and let it go, because it's way too soon. And granted, they've been in production and the train is going. But, for instance, King Ghidorah, I honestly believe we will not see King Ghidorah until next year Comic-Con. We will not see anything for... I think they want to keep that look so under wraps.
I don't expect us to see anything big like that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, see, the thing is I feel the difference between this Godzilla sequel and the first one is that the first one was so much hype because we were waiting to see what Godzilla looked like and seeing more on screen. But because we already know what Godzilla looks like, and in the sequel, I feel like the actors already have a comfortability with posting what they feel. Because already they have this one actor who's been posting stuff on his Instagram, and he's already posted. I don't know if he knows this, but he's mentioned a lot of stuff referring to the plot. So in that case, I'm not too worried about getting a little bit of teases here and there. But Mike Doherty, he's not shy. He hasn't shied away of talking about the film. And if you ask him a question about the film, depending what it is, he's very honest about it, whether he'll be saying yes or no or in-depth detail what he's trying to accomplish. He's very open on his Twitter and stuff like that. So the difference is I feel like we're not going to be cock-teased as much for this one. I mean, we'll be teased, but not as so strenuously as we were the 2014 film. So it's... but in terms of seeing anything huge I don't think we're going to get really anything until Comic-Con of next year. But if worst comes to worst, we don't see nothing at Comic-Con 2 next year. Like, surprisingly, Jurassic World 2 has nothing this year at Comic-Con. I'm going to be shocked. And that's just going to make me wonder, because 2014 didn't have a Super Bowl ad. Legendary, for some reason, doesn't like doing Super Bowl ads.
No, well, you got to remember one thing. Super Bowl ads are very, very, very expensive. And even though, as fans, we are huge into Godzilla, we would like to see it, they're looking at the bigger picture. It's not going to appease to everybody. So you save a lot of money, because Super Bowl ads are like $3 million a second. You save a lot of money. You don't put an ad there. You don't need to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good point, but it's like, it just makes me, what I'm basically saying is, yeah, you're right. We probably won't see anything until Comic-Con, if anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. King Ghidorah is going to be so under wraps, because everybody has a perceived idea of what Ghidorah looks like. We've seen him for over 60 years, We know what that thing is. So with Godzilla's redesign for 2014, some people didn't like it, some people love it. I happen to fall on the side that love it, And we spoke about this on a previous podcast. I think they're doing a little bit of tweaking to it. That's fine. They're not going to radically change it, and that's cool too. It's going to have the basic shape, silhouette. It's still going to be what we know as the legendary Godzilla. But it's King Ghidorah now, and Rodan, like JR was saying before, we know what Mothra is going to look like. It's a damn bug. But Rodan, you can take liberties there, and Ghidorah, they already got the 3 heads. Is it going to be golden? Will it be brown? Would it be a different color? Are they going to go the rainbow route like originally planned? Nobody would get that but the diehard fans like us. Holy shit, they made a rainbow here. That's crazy. But Ghidorah is going to be that one that I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't even show him whenever the first trailer drops. Kind of like with the Mutos. You didn't know. Everybody thought it was Rodan going in the water. What was that? But, I trust in Mike Dougherty. I love 2014. I love what Gareth Edwards did with it. But the cat's out the bag already as far as seeing Godzilla. So Mike Dougherty has an easier task at hand in terms of how much more he's going to show, what he's going to do. But the harder task is that he's got to play with these genuinely beloved other monsters in this universe and make it work. And I believe he's got it. I believe he's got it. From the little bits I've seen from the cast and crew, yeah, they may be just saying shit because that's what they do when they're on the set of a movie. But some of them seem genuinely enthused about being there and being in a giant monster movie, especially when the franchise is Godzilla. But, so yeah. JR, anything you'd like to see coming, going forward?
Honestly, I'm just going to say this before that. I don't even think they have a fucking design down for Ghidorah or Rodan, I mean, 2 fucking years away. And if you look at, like, the Hobbit series, like, they didn't even have shit down for a while. So I think they're still designing Ghidorah. I think that's going to be like a Smaug incident where they're like, fuck, we don't know what to do. But that's just my opinion on that. But going forward, a little bit of teasing's fine. I know we're not going to see Ghidorah until the fucking film, because we didn't see the Mutos until the damn film.
That's true.
And I'm okay with that. I want Ghidorah to be shrouded. And Rodan, I don't really want to see him in the trailer either. Show Mothra, by all means. I don't give a shit. But Rodan and Ghidorah just, like, kind of hint towards them, but don't show them, And going forward, hint, don't show. Keep doing what they're doing. Hint, don't show. And until we actually see the film and we're either very disappointed or we're jumping up and down, humping the fucking theater screen because it's just so beautiful. And that's what I want to see going forward, I want to be able to have that feeling of humping a fucking movie screen because it's just so beautiful.
The visual you just painted in my head had me cracking up. It's just ridiculous. I see. No, it's so funny, man. I absolutely agree with you, though. I don't think they have any kind of concept designs. I mean, a rough outline. Like I said, They know what these characters look like. They know what these creatures look like because they've been around for 60 plus years. But as far as what they're going to use for this movie, I absolutely agree with you. I do not think they have any idea what they're going for right now. Let's just get the story done. Let's get the majority of the filming out of the way. And then we can work on maquettes and then digital rendering and then really clean it up. Because you're right, there is still 2 years away from this thing. We have plenty of time to do what we need. We already got the Godzilla model. We know what Mothra looks like. And now we can focus on making these creatures look cool, really lifelike. I'm totally in agreement with you. Chase, what do you think of that? You agree with that or disagree?
Well, from what I've seen on Twitter, I'll say this. They do have basic ideas and maybe a basic starter rookie template of what they want for the monsters. I will say that because Mike Doherty posted an image saying that they're doing little small pieces of visual add-ins to the actors. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically they have little scenes here and there that they were talking about. And the actors are acting, and they have like little visuals for the monsters just to get the ball rolling, I guess is the easiest way to say. But I don't think it's like something, I mean, obviously it's not something completely finished, or else we wouldn't be getting this movie in 2019. But I will say that they have basic templates for the monsters. I would say probably the only monster that's done is Godzilla, of course. But as what goes for Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah, they have a small basic concept for them, but they don't have something that's completely finished. And throughout the year, they'll add, change, details, stuff like that.
I believe you 100%. It's called the Sony Godzilla game. They got the baby. They just look at the original designs. They just a little cardboard cutout and they slap it on the wall. Look, there's King Ghidorah, right? Yell and terror, screaming terror. But I mean, what are you looking forward to going forward? What are some of the things you would like to see?
Going forward is like, I just want to see the damn movie. But going forward, it's like I'm nervous and I'm excited because it's like I have that fear of when they show the trailer, is it going to be something that's going to be too much, or is it going to be something that's just going to be just enough? But with a Godzilla movie, it's so hard to ever say because it's like these things are going to be opinionated no matter what. You'll get a trailer where someone is upset because they show Godzilla once. You'll get a trailer because they show no monsters, and someone will be upset. So it's kind of hard to say because it's like I just want them to show a trailer that's going to capture my excitement. I don't necessarily need to see the monsters. Like, I would like to see little snippets here and there of the monsters, and eventually we will. But I want to see just an interesting trailer that talks about the movie, though. I mean, here's how I feel. We've had Toho for so many years. We basically know what these monsters are going to look like, regardless, even if they're minor design changes. This is just going to feel like another Godzilla movie into the template of the Godzilla franchise, including the Toho spectrum and what Legendary's doing. I just want to know what they're doing with this story, because the top thing in my head is like, is this going to be just a reboot of Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster? Now, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's like, this already has so many nods to Ghidra the Three-Headed Monster. It already does. So what I want to see forward is I just want to see if, like, are they going to tease a thrilling movie? Like, is this movie going to be, like, just a fun film? That's what I want. I just want to see stuff that's going to indicate that they took care in this film. They know this film, what it is, the fans, and they just want to make a fun movie for people. That's what I just hope. That's what I want to see forward. I just want to see something that's going to make me more hyped but I don't want to see too much. I don't want to see Godzilla's atomic breath. I don't want to see any monster powers. I don't want to see any chokeholds for the monsters. I don't want to see Kong throwing trees, you know. I just want to see, you know, I want to basically see Bryan Cranston saying we have no idea what's coming, and then we just see just a big old explosion of shit.
I thought he was gonna say. I just want to see Bryan Cranston say, "I don't know how the hell I got here. I have no idea how I got here.
Yeah, I'm dead.
I'm dead. I've been resurrected." Yeah, no. For me, personally, I'm not looking forward to the trailer no time soon. So what I want to see more going forward is more stuff like that video, the Monarch Files video. I want to see tidbits. I want to see a really good marketing campaign. And I think they started on the right path with that video, even though I don't necessarily agree with where they placed it. I don't understand the reasoning why they placed it there when, again, Comic-Con was right around the corner. You could have dropped it there, but it's out. They did it. It wasn't like a bootleg thing. It came from Legendary. It was like, yo, here you go, fans. Enjoy this little tidbit. We started eating it up. There's a lot of cool nods to certain things, whether or not they are, in fact, let's say the Smog Monster, but it's just the word being in there is a cool little thing to get your juices going. So I want to see more viral marketing like that. You can totally do it, especially with Monarch. You could drop tidbits here, drop tidbits there. So and all leading up until the inevitable trailer sometime next year. That's going forward. What I'd like to see.
I completely agree. Like, it would be great if they just did viral marketing stuff throughout, but like not so much heavy viral marketing that it shows so much stuff that overwhelms us.
But that's my point. And that's why I say right as of now, that's why they know what they're doing. What they put out was perfect. They didn't give too much away. We know Ghidorah and Rodan and Mothra are going to be in this movie. So by saying Monster Zero, the devil has 3 heads, that's great for the fans because we're like, Monster Zero, we know who that is, 3 heads, yeah, and everybody goes crazy. But like for the average person, it's just like, oh, this is pretty cool viral marketing. It's kind of like what Cloverfield did. Cloverfield came out, nobody knew what the hell was going on. You had to go and type in secret codes on the websites and shit, and you still didn't know what was going on, but you kept going back because now you were intrigued. They don't have to do that because we're already hooked. They already have a movie. But the Monarch Files is a perfect way to serve. It's a perfect instrument to drop bits here and there to make it look legit. You know, while not giving too much because, yeah, you don't want to, you know, shoot your load in October of 2017 when the movie don't come out until, May of 2019? No, they're not going to do that. But little by little, I would like to say, again, New York City Comic-Con, if they want to do something there, if they will do something there, a little video again, something small, nothing major. You don't see nothing, but just more for fanboy service, fan service. I would like to see that. And for the average movie-going audience who might not understand all of that, the way they can put it together, it will get them involved, intrigued into this movie, into this whole series. And that's pretty much for me going forward. That's what I like to see. I don't, I'm not, the concept art is cool. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, if it comes out, I'm definitely going to look at it. But like JR said, I'm again echoing his sentiments. I doubt they have anything ready as far as King Ghidorah is concerned and Rodan. I really don't, and I don't need to see that right now. So, that's pretty much it. Just give me a strong viral marketing campaign and play with us. Basically, just play with the fans. As you go along with the production.
I'm also kind of glad, though, if they don't have this done, because that means they'll rush it if they do, it feels like. So It's like I want them taking as much time as they can on it. That's great.
Well, yeah, and I think that's what they're doing. So that's why I said, just play with us throughout the next, year and a half with the marketing material up until you give us the, first teaser trailer. And then now we're really like, all right, we're excited. And then boom. We get the full trailer, and then boom, the movie comes out, and everybody's happy-go-lucky. But before we wrap up, final thoughts, JR?
I'm excited. The Comic-Con, like I said, it was a disappointment for me, but the Mothra drop and the Monarch shit, that really That was really cool. Yeah, you know, I see it like this. We're on the first date once again with Godzilla 2. And, you know, by the time the movie comes out, we're sleeping with it. That's how I'm going to leave it. It's just, we're on that first date.
All right.
And then we'll get that tease, you know, that little tease. You know, we all want the tease.
Chase, it's your turn. It's your turn, Chase. Any final thoughts?
And then we all get disappointed, and it's either going to decipher whether we're throwing our shit out the window or we're moving in and getting married. Who knows?
It wouldn't be a Godzilla Block Party if we don't throw a jab at Shin. Then it becomes a shit Godzilla.
No, I'm excited. Gosh, it's hard to contain my excitement because this Comic-Con was basically set up for the superheroes, which I have nothing against the superheroes, but we have so much stuff coming out next year too that we did not get trailers for, that I'm just like kind of shocked. And this Comic-Con was kind of disappointing, but it's like I just hope that next year's Comic-Con is like the ultimatum for the, you know, the Godzilla universe. I'm looking forward to it. So
sweet. My final thoughts is this. Yes, we didn't get much of anything in terms of kaiju awesomeness at this Comic-Con, but we got a shit ton of superhero stuff, and we covered that all on the on the Geek Out podcast. You guys can go check that shit out. It's also on the YouTube channel. See, Matt, I plugged it. And that will be it for me and my friends here. JR, man, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
I'm glad you're back, brother.
I'm going to hump the movie screen.
G73, man, thank you, brother, for joining us.
Always.
And thank you guys for listening out there. I am G1. This is the Godzilla Block Party. We out of here. Peace.